No.
There. Okay, you got it? Okay, point over here. This is the XJ900, and this is the YICS. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it has to do with this balancer tube that equalizes the pressure between the intake manifolds and makes the bike run a lot smoother. But the problem is you can't balance the carbs when this thing is open all the time because it's allowing air to go back and forth between the intake manifolds. So there's a special tool that goes in here with a little plunger on the end of it, and it's got rubber seals that blocks off those holes. That tool is like, well, you can't get that tool anymore from Yamaha, but there's a guy that makes them, and with shipping and everything, it's like 125 or 150 bucks US, something like that. So what I'm going to do is block this off. I believe that hole's 10 millimeters or 21/64 of an inch or something like that. I can't remember because I did measure it. It's about 10 mil. I think it's 10 millimeters. It's a metric bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this out. I'm using my shotgun barrel cleaner, which fits in here perfectly. I sprayed some of this in there, penetrating oil, just to decarbonate because there was a lot of carbon in there. Push that in like that, it fits perfect. I was going to use my 22 caliber one, but this shotgun one, I don't even own a shotgun, but this was my dad's, I inherited. I'm just going to turn it in there, clean this all up nice and tight. I'm thinking of even blocking this tube off permanently, and because I'm not going to use this vacuum tube for the fuel tank anymore, I can make a balancer tube out of rubber hoses across there if I want. It's hardly noticeable how much smoother it runs this way. Okay, up here, Bentley, I got my grandson helping me out. And you can see how much carbon's coming out of here. Take this out of this end. Like that. There, and now, put this here. And this is, like I say, it's about 10 millimeter, maybe slightly less. I think it's 21/64, I think is what it was. I can't remember what it was when I ordered it. Maybe it says on here, it's been quite a while. 25/64. 25/64. And I think I ordered it on eBay, I think. So what I was going to do is just shove this in there, balance the carbs, and then take this back out because this is a snug fit. And even if I got to put grease on it so it doesn't suck any air. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off and leave it in there permanently, and then put the caps back on. Whoop. Yeah, that's going to fit right in there. I'm in a couple inches out. I'm in about that far. But I think I'm going to put a rag through here and some brake cleaner and make sure I get all the carbon out first. Stop. Is it started? Okay, I just cut this end off and I measured it exactly how far in it's got to go. I've already got the other end on the other side. And this is just a snug fit. I had to put oil on to get it in there, otherwise it wouldn't go. Look at that, she's going to be perfect. And 1 second. 12 mil. I'm gonna leave it in there permanently. Now I can balance the carbs. And if I want it to run smoother, I can just run vacuum tubes here. So I got the valve fixed on the fuel tank that was leaking, and it's going to seal the inside of that tank a little bit more. And then I want to test the carburetor, make sure the float's not leaking or one of the fuel lines in it. And if that works, this bike is done. I'm putting it together and it's done. Then it needs a good wash. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, let me get a August 3rd. I got the tank sealed. I'm just letting it dry some more. I keep flipping it around. I actually sealed it yesterday. I poured the whole little paint can in there, and then I rolled it around in the grass for probably an hour and a half, every 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Flipped it, rolled it on its side, on its ends, and by sticking my finger in there, it feels pretty dry. I don't see anything wet anymore. So the tank is done. Played hockey this morning. We had to go down to Moortown and play because the rinks in Sarnia, the main rink was flooded out and the other two were under construction. And that heavy rain there 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I've had this bike out a bunch of times. I put some exhaust wrap on there, heat wrap, because it caught my leg on there and got a little burn. And I felt it through my pants a couple times too. But I'm going to try to do something more permanent there, a little better, but I just wrap that on for now. Heat wrap. And this is what I'm working on now. That XJ900 tank out there. Got that all sealed up. I got the petcock all fixed. I hope I can find the video on here somewhere when I put this video together. And the aftermarket Chinese petcock, which didn't work. They don't fit right. The holes don't line up. But I did use the screen, even though it didn't fit right either. I had to grind down one side, put it in there, and then I put a little silicone around it. And then these vacuum petcocks, they all leak on all the Secas, all the Yamahas in the early and mid 80s. And what I did is I just turned mine back into an original petcock, on, off. So on is prime and everything else is off. So that's how I'm going to work that one. And I did that by jamming the diaphragm in tighter with a little bit of RTV black silicone on the tip of the needle, but also by putting pressure on it, it stopped leaking. I can't blow through it, and then can, so I'm sure that's ready to go. The last thing is the carbs, which I already took apart and cleaned. Number 1, but I want to do a bench test. I finally got my reserve tank back. Put some gas in there, get this thing up level, and make sure that's where it was leaking from. I'm pretty sure it was cylinder number 1, where there must have been some dirt in the needle or something, and I couldn't flush it out. So I cleaned that out, but it could possibly be one of these fuel tubes. I put in the new aluminum ones with O-rings rather than the original plastic coated ones. So I'm hoping it wasn't that leaking, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a float. Okay. It's another. I've been cleaning up around here. It's another day. August now. 29 degrees Celsius. Just about 90. It's supposed to be in the 90s today. Over 40 with humidity Celsius. I cleaned up my bench. Finally made a little stand here to get these level and square. Just made a little bracket for this remote tank so I can put fuel to it, and just make sure none of these carbs are leaking again. Make sure it's not one of the crossover tubes, fuel tubes, because I did put the new aluminum O-ring ones in there, custom made. Guy on eBay sells them. So I'm ready to do that. The tank is done. It's out here, just about in the sun there now. I coated that 4 days ago, maybe 5. It's gonna keep baking her and baking her. Make sure that's nice and hard. And then I can fire this bike up. Make sure these are all good. And no leaks. I'll shake it, rattle it, tap it, bang it. And then I'll put them in here with the remote tank up here somewhere. And get the balancer and balance those carbs. That's the goal. I'm just charging that battery up. Hasn't been used in a year. I've charged it a couple times, but it's hardly drawing anything, I guess, which maybe that's a good sign. That's 6 amps. That's 2 amps. Looks like it's fully charged. We'll see. Okay, let me try this out. Okay, I got some gas in here. Turn it on. Got some rags in case it leaks. Damn, it shouldn't leak. Well, I can hear bubbles coming up, so it must be getting fuel. It's filling up. No leaks so far. I'll crack the bleeders on each of them there. It's hard to get at though, with the way I made this. It's cooler. It's a little slower than the other ones. Oh, we've got fuel leaking here. Yeah, we got fuel leaking out of one of these ones now. Shut this off. So when I took this apart, I only took apart that float bowl because these ones were all working fine. Now one of these is leaking. So there we go. Glad I checked. I'm going to pull them all off now. It's because it's been a year sitting there now. Ugh. Pull them all off. Yes, we'll take them all out. I just did this one, so it should be good, but let's do them all again. Just going to tap the fulcrum pin out. The pick. What happens, it varnishes up on the needle right here. You can't, I cleaned this one already, so it's looks pretty clean, but I'll show you this one here. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but it gets kind of a golden color. It's kind of varnishing up. That's why it's important to use 93, 91 octane with no alcohol in it, because that's what varnishes, and then this sticks. So, but the first thing I'm going to do though is just make sure if I can get any varnish out of the inlet there. The seat, spray some brake cleaner on one of these. Q-tips, just spin that in there. Right on the seat. So I get a little bit of varnish on there, I can see it. Do the other side, the next one. I already did this one, but we're going to do it again. It's been sitting for a month or two. No gas in it though. Okay. I want to make sure there's no strands of cotton in there. Well, the needle, same thing. You can see what I got off there, right there. So, these have a rubber tip on them, or neoprene or rubber, whatever it is. And you don't want to leave it soaked in the brake cleaner. So I'm going to put a little bit of this lubricating, penetrating oil on it. That goes in there. Do the next one. I'm just checking the float. We're so close, but these are all new needles and seats. I put it in like I don't know, a year or two ago, I guess, but I've never driven the bike. I think I drove around the block once. It just wasn't running smooth because I believe number one cylinder was leaking. Number one carb. I'm just looking at the tab right here on everyone, making sure they're all dead level. Little dab of oil. I've already cleaned this, I'm going to do it again. Float bowls are spotless. I'm just snugging them up with this, and then I'll use the proper screwdriver. This is the idle adjuster. Maybe I should take it out and clean it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like to clean it a little bit. There's a little locating pin on this idle adjustment right there. This is a Japan Phillips JP. Okay. Okay, try it again. See if she's gonna leak. Shoot, I forgot to push play. Anyways, I topped up my gas tank. Right to this line here. It's down almost an inch, 3/4 to an inch. And I see no leaks so far. Nothing leaking. I hope that's it. Can't balance the carbs with them leaking. I got a phone call. Holy crap, I just noticed this. I was gonna put the carbs back on and look at my rags. The mice have chewed it all up. I hope they didn't go inside that one, no. Guaranteed though, they went inside here and made another nest. And I just cleaned that out last, oh, where is it? There's the inside there, maybe not. Yeah, maybe inside that box. I gotta vacuum that out, make sure there's nothing in there. The little bastards. Look at that, they chewed it all up. September 7th, the longest video in the world. There's the temperature, what's that, like 62 degrees, 17 Celsius. Getting into the fall now. Some leaves are changing color back there. Nice day today. Back on the XJ900. Carb's been ready for probably a month. Just haven't moved it over to put them in there yet. Finally went and bought a gas can today. My son never returned mine from a year ago because I need to put high test in this so it doesn't gum up the carburetors again, because all my gas cans outside are all regular gas, so you want high test with no alcohol in it, and that'll stop it from varnishing up. So the goal today is get those carbs on, and I'm not going to put the tank on, I'm going to run it. I saw a dent in that tank, no. I'm going to run the remote tank on here, fire it up, get the idle set, and then balance the carbs. And then I can, this bike's done, I can finish hooking it up. Needs a really good cleaning though. Like, this bike was spotless. I had it cleaned before, and look at it, it's been sitting for a year or so now. Okay, that's the goal today. Put the carbs on. I've been putting it off for literally months and months and months. A year. This bike's been apart for a year. I just have no motivation. I'm just forcing myself to do this today on a Sunday afternoon. I'm forcing I told myself yesterday I was gonna do it. I keep getting up every morning saying I'm gonna do it. I don't know what it is. I can't do it. But I'm gonna do it today. I'm forcing myself to do this, get this video done. Because as soon as I get this one done, I can start pulling this bike out and really getting down to business on the Norton there and figuring out the frame and the rake on the front where it's hitting the frame, or whether to rebuild the whole frame with 1-inch, 1/8-inch tubing. Yeah, so anyways, let's finish this one up. I gotta put these carbs on right now before I quit. Put the cable on first. Those are in. Okay, I got the carbs mounted, clamps on, throttle cable hooked up, choke cable hooked up. I'm just going to use this little gas tank here to run it, I hope. Let me turn the fuel on. Actually, I'm going to put some high test in here. Okay. Open up the valve, see if we get any leaks again. Hopefully no gas leaks. Here's the hoses here. See if we got power. We got power. I don't know if we have enough. Give it some choke. Nope. That looks like a bad connection, it looks like. Okay, I already turned the gas on. Number 4 started leaking. I tapped that. I got the fuel shut off. Give it a choke. I got my battery jumper on. Okay, now I'm going to try turning the fuel on. Hopefully that doesn't leak again. Running on a couple cylinders. That one's running. Not running on number 4. That's the one that was leaking, so I shut the fuel off. I think that's off that way. Not running on number 4, so I'm going to pull the plug out there first. I think it's just a fuel problem. It's pretty black. It's pretty black from running on the choke. I'm going to clean it. Okay, I got the vacuum gauges all set. This is a brand new set, never used. So I'll have to reverse a couple if I get this balanced and see if it stays the same, because they're just a cheap Amazon set. Number 4, we're still leaking a bit. I cleaned the spark plug. Hopefully I can get it running. Hopefully these things are just out of balance, and that's why it's running rough. But I got a feeling number 4 it's leaking again, so I don't get it. First it was 1, then I think it was 2 or 3, now it's 4. Like, and they're spotless. So, and they're all, it's a brand new carb kit, needles and seats. So anyways, these adjusters down here, there's one there, and where is 1, 2? Yeah, the third one's underneath the choke adjuster, right down. It's underneath that. There, you can see it under there. So 1, 2. Yeah, 4. So one is I gotta see here. It's usually number 1 or number 4. Could be number 4 in this case. That's solid. You can't you can't adjust it, and then you adjust the others to match it, which I think is number 4. Yeah, be number 4. So number 4 is set permanent, and then you got to adjust the others too. So I'm going to start with number 3 there to adjust it. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to run it with the fuel off for a second. I got a bad connection here somewhere. That one. Okay, cleaned that spark plug. Turn the gas back on. Had to come out here, couldn't hold my breath any longer. It's all carbon monoxide in there. So, I didn't have it on camera, but actually right about where those needles are sitting right now is about how it was running. It's like bang on, maybe 1 notch. 1 notch here and 1 notch here, but bang on. But I can turn this screw in a half a turn or out a half a turn, and it doesn't make a difference. Same with that side, which tells me that I don't think my rod is working in there. Maybe I need to pack it with grease. I still can't see. Like, that's got to be plugged off 99.9% of the way. Well, let me turn the gas off here because I'm taking off. Going for a motorcycle ride. Oh, the fumes are terrible. Yeah, so I don't know if maybe that rod's not working that I shoved in there to block the air passageways off, or what. But by adjusting those screws is doing nothing to the vacuum pull. So, and even if I do it at a higher RPM, like 3,000 RPM, they're still bang on, and it's not adjusting anything. Look at the smoke coming out of my garage. Holy. So I think I'm going to adjust it a different way. Before they had vacuum gauges, and they did it on a lot of the British bikes. You would use a feeler gauge and set the height of the butterfly that way, because those screws aren't doing anything except it's making it run worse, but the vacuum's pulling the same, which tells me that it's balanced somehow. Anyways, I gotta think on that. Here's where I'm at with the XJ900 Yamaha, 1983. Got it running on the reserve tank. I got the new battery in there. I got a new set of balancers, gauges here I borrowed off a friend, and all the needles are reading perfect, within 1 bar of each other or less. And I can turn these are the adjustment screws here for the butterflies. There's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then the one carb is permanent. And nothing's happening. I could turn one in halfway, 2 or 3 turns down, or 2 or 3 turns out. Doesn't affect this. The bike runs crappy. It doesn't run smooth. So what that tells me that the bar that I put in here, right there, there's an access hole here, and on the other side to push the tool in there that allows you to balance the carbs. Well, I put in a a 10mm bar in there, rod, and it's obviously not working because I should be able to just turn one of these screws, like, I mean, just a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch, and you will see the carbs get right out of balance. Well, I'm not getting that, so that tells me that's not working. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take the carbs off again. I'm going to adjust them the best I can with a feeler gauge on the on my bench over there once I clean that off. And then also I'm going to pull one of these boots off. These are all new boots, and I want to see where that port goes down on each of them to see if there's a way to block it off from maybe from the top. I don't know, but that's where I'm at. This is what you're trying to adjust when you're balancing the carburetors with the vacuum gauges. And like I say, just a 1/16 of a turn on any one of these screws can throw it out. Like, it's so fine. So what you want all 4 of these plates opening up at the exact same time and closing at the exact same time. Usually it's cylinders 1 or 4 that are you can't adjust, and then you adjust the other ones to meet up with it. But this one, it's cylinder number 3, which kind of took me for a loop. Cylinder number 3 is stationary. I'll show you how I can tell. So if I hold this spring down here and move this one, you'll see that that butterfly opens and closes there. If I hold this down, this turns both of these, but if I hold this one down, it just opens this butterfly. Doesn't affect that one. And there's none that controls this one here. If I hold this down. So I got to get those balanced. Okay, I'm going to try to show you what balancing the carbs is about. Number 3 is you can't adjust. You can adjust 4 to 3, and then you can adjust 2 and 1 to 3 this way. But I'm going to show you, it's not balanced right now because I can't get the vacuum hoses to work without the special tool, which I'm going to order, but it's going to be a few weeks. Watch the butterflies. This one's not going to move, and you're going to see these two start to move before that one even moves. Can you see that number 2? I'm trying to get it so you can see the reflection in the light. You can see number 2 moving, and number 1. And look at number 3 is not even moving. So you want all the carbs to open up at exactly the same time. And you'd be surprised how that affects your engine. Anyways, so I'm going to try to adjust them with these screws as best I can, like this. Put it all back on the bike and then wait till that tool comes in. She's back together. Just been cleaning it up a little bit. And there's no gas in the tank or the carbs, drained for the winter. And I balanced them with a feeler gauge as best I could, the butterfly. And it was out a bit because I've been screwing around with it. But I am going to order the balancing tool maybe later in the winter time or in a month or 2 or in the spring. I just do the final adjustment on that. Yeah, this bike, there's a few rare parts hard to find that always go missing. This centerpiece, right, that little Yamaha part right there. And these 2 side covers are only used on the XJ900 for that 1 year with that reflector. With that reflector there. Now the one's in mint condition and the other one has some cracks. And it's kind of riveted together underneath. You can't really tell. But a lot of little differences on the 900. The taillight assembly is different as well too. This part, this bracket in here, they all rattle and break. Pretty rare to find that. The original exhaust, really rare to find that, especially in Canada with the salt. Yeah, that's it for that bike for now. This is an aftermarket seat cover somebody's put on there, but I do have the original pattern and original cover to go on it. Probably going to cost me a couple $100 to get that done. Take it to this lady in town here that does it. And that's it for now. I'm just going to do a lot of little finicky cleaning on it. That's never really been done on it, on the wheels. And little aluminum pieces, and it's going to clean it up. But I'm going to call that done for now on that bike. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty rare bike and a pretty good survivor.